Hi INFJs and autistic INFJs, welcome back to my channel. So have you ever considered that perhaps maybe it's them and not you? What if the reason that you feel like an outsider, that you're sinking in quicksand on a daily basis and nobody gets you and you feel like an alien and all that nasty stuff that comes up and you start questioning yourself and you start hating who you are, maybe it's not your fault. We tend to blame ourselves, but maybe it's really not our fault. It's something to think about. Today, we're going to be talking about why we need to stop blaming ourselves for not fitting in and start recognizing when actually it's the environment that's the problem. It's the environment that we have ourselves in that is actually the problem. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you find it helpful. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself feel seen, heard, and understood. And I wanted somewhere to share resources, things that I have found that have helped me out, that I know can help other people. So don't forget to check out the resource section in the description of this video. Welcome to my channel. I hope you find it helpful. If you're returning, I'm glad you came back. I'm grateful for you all. I also invite you, if you haven't yet, to like this video and subscribe to my channel because I would really appreciate the support. Okay. All right. One more thing. I have registration open for the virtual INFJ meet and greet. So if you're an INFJ or an autistic INFJ and you've struggled meeting people that you can really click with, jive with, in fact, this is the topic of discussion today, is the environment that we'll put ourselves in. Anyway, I created a virtual space where we meet for an hour, hour and a half, and talk about INFJ life. It's like my favorite thing to do. I absolutely love these meet and greets. I have met so many amazing people, INFJs, that we share like the same struggles. We're not the only ones in the world. It's really liberating. Anyway, if you want more information about this, registration's open. I have 2 dates to accommodate different time zones. The links are in the description of this video, so go ahead and check them out. Sorry, I need to grab my little crystals, my little rocks here, because I hold them when I'm recording, because I like to feel them. They're soft. All right, let's get into this. This is an interesting topic. It was probably one of my biggest, I'm going to say it, aha moments, even though I absolutely hate that phrase. I think it's silly, but it really, no, you know what? I'm going to say empowering moments. When I realized that I was putting the blame on myself for everything that just was not going right in my life, for feeling out of place, for feeling like an alien, for feeling stupid, for questioning my worth, for hating who I was. I was putting all that blame on me and having people be nasty to me, having no success in my career, no matter what I did. And I was just putting all the blame on me. I didn't stop to realize or to even think about or consider that perhaps maybe it's not all me, but it's the people that I'm around. Now, when I say this, I don't want you to think that I'm saying everybody around you is a bad person, because that's not what I'm meaning at all. I'm sure that they're all great people. I don't like to think of bad people in this world. However, not everybody is for everybody. Does that make sense? So they just might not be for you. They're not going to get you. They're never going to get you. And that's okay. They don't have to. But we don't have to stay around them. So how can we tell when the environment is not for us? First, if you feel like a burnt out human pretzel from twisting and squishing yourself just to fit in, just to be accepted, just to feel normal, then that's a huge indication. A huge indication for me was I felt bad about myself all the time. The people that I was hanging around with, they made me feel very bad about myself. They made me question my worth. They made me think horrible thoughts about myself. I really don't think they meant to. It's just, again, they just didn't understand me. And I felt very burnt out, and it didn't matter how much I did and how much I tried to change and how much I tried to hide who I was, being the pretzel, it didn't help. It just made things worse, and I got way more exhausted as time went on. Another indication is that it's the environment, the people that we're hanging around and not you, is you have no idea who you are because of all the masking you have to do. It's like you're trying your darndest to adjust to match others just to be accepted, right? I had no clue who I was. I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. I did a challenge. No, it wasn't. It was a workshop. It wasn't a challenge, but there was a challenge within the workshop. And the little challenge was she wanted us to write down, I can't remember now if the list was 10 or 20 things. It was either 10 or 20 things of things that we like to do, us, not our spouse, not our kids, not our friends, not our parents, not things that we do because we think we're supposed to do and enjoy it. Things that we do for ourselves that we truly enjoy, that brings passion, that sparks creativity, that makes us feel alive. So people got busy. I thought, okay, well, this is a dumb challenge, but I did it. But it took me forever. When I started making that list, I had to erase everything. I'd write it down and I'd be like, oh no, that I do that because my son likes it. Or I'd write something else down and be like, no, I do that because Jay likes it. I had no idea what I liked. It took me probably over or close to 6 months, maybe even closer to a year of like being okay with myself to allow myself to start enjoying things, to find out what it was that I liked. Because I masked so much and did everything for everybody else, I had no idea who I even was. It was a wonderful journey getting to know myself again. You know what? I can't even say again. It was like for the first time. It was a wonderful journey, but it just amazed me. It blew me away that I had no clue who I was because I masked so much. At the time, I didn't know it was masking because I wasn't aware of masking. Now I know that's exactly what it was, right? Another indication that we're in the wrong environment, that it's not you, it's the environment that you're in, is you find yourself stuck in surface level connections. Initially, you become a weather expert because that's what you're talking about with people all the time, is like the weather. It seems like that's the topic of discussion. Your daily interactions are like super draining and it takes everything from you instead of energizing you. For me, I dreaded them to the point where I would try to avoid, sorry, my shirt is driving me nuts today. I would try to avoid people. I worked in an office for quite a few years. The one office I'm thinking of, there was more people. I can't remember how many people were in that office. And they were wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. They were wonderful people, not my people. And I remember I would take like long ways around back to my office if I had to walk to the community printer because there was people there visiting, socializing, and I just couldn't do it. I had no energy. I knew it was going to drain me, not energize me, and I needed all that energy to get through the rest of my week because I knew I was running on limited energy. So that's what it is. Another thing is the friends that I was hanging out with, the people that I considered my friends, I would dread hanging out with them because I was just so exhausted around them. And when I would leave from being around them, I felt worse about myself instead of better. That's a huge indication right there. Another indication is you feel like you're constantly explaining yourself, trying to explain yourself just to get that acceptance, right? Or you're being dismissed with those, oh, I hate these, those awkward side glances, or like the underbreath snickers, I call it, where they think that you don't know, that they're like making faces at other people because you're weird, but we totally know. Makes us feel like about this big too. I hate it. Hate it. Hate those so bad. Anyway, if you're in a group where they tend to do that to you, then you're definitely in the wrong environment. They're never going to get you. Sorry, there's a bug. It's winter time here. There's not supposed to be bugs. In your relationships are a whole lot of work. Very much one-sided, and very draining. And again, you dread interactions. I'm just reading my notes here. So every social interaction feels like an emotional autopsy afterwards. That's the best way I can describe it when it's the environment, when you're in the wrong environment. That's a huge red flag right there, when that's what it feels like. Things shift when you start forcing yourself to not be in those spaces that don't align with who you are, right? Basically, think of it like this. Stop being a square peg trying to fit in a round hole, because that's what it's like. It's never going to fit. And if that's what we're doing, we're trying to fit in with these people all the time. it's never going to happen. We're never going to fit in. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not ever going to happen. So a little story I wanted to share with you that's coming to mind is, pardon me, little cough there. It's the people that I was hanging out with were, and some of them were actually my family. And again, I do want to stress that when I'm mentioning that it's the people and not us, I don't mean they're bad people. They're just not for us. Okay. Like my family is not a bad family. They're wonderful people. However, the people that I hung out with, my friends and my family, I would leave them questioning who I was. I'd feel very bad about myself. I was constantly called stupid, or I was made feel stupid with the remarks and the sarcastic remarks or whatever it is that they had. I was made feel ugly because I was always told I was ugly. It goes along with being the outcast, right? When people don't really understand you, everything about you is wrong. The way you dress, the way you look, your interests. If I did have an interest, like for example, I played guitar. I still play guitar. And yes, I was good. I did talent contests and I would win them. Back then, I wouldn't have said I was good because I wouldn't have admitted it. But yeah, I was good. I'm going to take that as a win for me because I was good. Anyway, there was family and friends that also played, and I would get bashed because I wasn't good at playing guitar. I was a wannabe, right? So this is what I'm saying is they will never understand me because I was totally different. I had different interests in music. My goals with playing guitar was totally different. And anyway, it made me feel bad about playing guitar to the point where I was good. I took lots of lessons. I became a really good friend with the person who taught me how to play guitar, and he was trying to get me to teach. And it made me question the people that I hung around with. It really made me question my ability to play guitar. So I actually never taught. He actually even tried to get me to join a band more times than just one, and I wouldn't do it because I didn't think I was good enough because of the people I was hanging around with kept telling me that. So here's the catch, though, with my story is I continued to hang around with these people because I thought I was supposed to. I thought that I was supposed to, especially when it comes to family. We think we're supposed to stay in contact with them. We're supposed to hang out with them. We're supposed to share things that we're doing in life, even though they're not going to get it and they're going to make you feel bad about it. What I had to understand was we don't have to. We don't have to be mean to them. We don't have to be rude. We don't have to start this huge squabble in the family. But we also don't have to hang around with them. So when I allowed myself to do that and step back, same with the friends that I was hanging out with, step back and just keep like a safe distance, if I see them, I'm whatever, hi, how's it going? They're on a need to know basis. Basically, they don't need to know anything about my life because they're just not good for me. When I finally did that and allowed myself to be available for myself, I started attracting a different kind of people into my life. And those are the people that I didn't have to mask around, that I didn't even realize were out there. See, the problem is you don't need to change yourself. You need to change where you're trying to fit in. So once I shifted and allowed myself to go from that environment of the people who don't understand me, who aren't my people, who will never be my people, even though some of them I was related to, and that's okay. They're wonderful people. When I understood that just because of all of that, they don't have to understand me, that's okay. And I can shift and go find people that will. There are people out there who will accept you. Your people will make you feel safe. They will make you feel seen. You don't feel like you have to prove your existence anymore. That's huge. I stopped apologizing for living. It was huge. That's huge. Conversations will flow naturally. No overthinking is required when you're around the people that you're supposed to be around, the ones that will fit in, the square pegs, right? I said we're square pegs trying to fit in a round hole. It's never going to happen. But when you find other square pegs and you find those square holes and it all just slides together, you start leaving interactions feeling lighter, not drained. My gosh, when I leave my virtual INFJ meet and greet that I host, I'm like floating. I can't even hardly sleep that night because I'm so excited. The one during the afternoon, I actually have to ground myself before I drive because I'm just so excited and I don't know if I can keep my attention where it's supposed to be because I found people that I clicked with and we had conversations that we could relate to, and oh man, I just feel so good. And that's what it feels like when you're around your people. You're floating. That's the best way I can describe it. You're floating. They don't make you feel bad about yourself. They appreciate your unique thoughts, and they'll even ask you for them. Now, all of my people I found online. All of my people are virtual friends, which is kind of unusual, but it fits for an INFJ. Many INFJs, that's their friend circle is virtual, just because virtual friends, it opens up so many doors of the whole world. I have friends all over the world that I chat with, and they will just message me randomly to ask my opinion. Not all of them are INFJs either. I think most of them are all introverts though. So that's kind of interesting. You're allowed to be yourself without judgment, which is huge. That's huge, and it's a huge weight off. In fact, they will naturally encourage you to let your true self shine because that's what they were attracted to. That's what they want to see. That's what they jive with, right? The thing to remember is you're not broken. You've just been trying to fit into spaces that were not meant for you, and they will never ever be meant for you. The moment you stop forcing yourself to fit in, you're free. You're freeing yourself to find where you truly belong. And that's the key right there. When we stop forcing ourselves to fit in with these people who make us feel bad about ourselves, in work environments that we just do not feel good in, we dread going to work every day. I had a job like that every morning. I dreaded going in. I wish the place would burn down, not with the people in it, but I just wish the office would burn down so I didn't ever have to work there again because it made me feel so bad about myself. But when we stop trying to force ourselves into those places, it frees ourselves to find where we truly belong. Because when we're so busy trying to force ourselves, we miss all the other things that are passing us by. It's incredible how it works that way. So if you want to be around INFJs who really get you, I really invite you to check out my INFJ virtual meet and greet. The link is in the description of this video. We have a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me. So remember, next time you start blaming yourself and you're feeling down about yourself, I know this is what I would do, and start bashing myself, and I would go stand in the mirror and tell myself to stop being stupid old me so I could fit in. When you find yourself doing that, or questioning your worth, or apologizing for just existing, just step back and ask yourself, is it really me, or is it the environment that I'm trying to force myself into that's never ever going to allow me into it? Might be surprised what you come up with. Thanks for joining me. Again, I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Like this video. I'd appreciate the support. And I also encourage you to share this video. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help. And that's really what it's all about. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.